I didn't say it was connected to criminal activity. I never said that.
Well, okay, so they're just art. They're just free speech then. We can agree on that?
It's free speech, but like I said, when you talk about a crime that actually happened and your group is the suspect,
It's what? It's what?
It's obvious that you were involved maybe in that crime.
It's obvious that you were involved if you're singing about it?
Could have been.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to object to the characterization of it's obvious that you were involved, maybe. And I'm going to object to Mr.
Overruled. What else? Hang on. To Mr. App's misstatement. Is that what you said? Ask your question again.
Thank you, Your Honor. So what you're saying is if someone sings about an act of violence that previously occurred, then it's obvious that they were involved.
That is a misstatement. That wasn't.
Is that what you're saying?
Not exactly. I'm saying that if crimes have been committed and then you go brag about it in a song, it's hard to defend that you didn't have anything to do with what you're pretty much confessing in a song.
Okay, and I guess that's my point. If Robert De Niro plays Al Capone, and he's playing Al Capone in a movie, is it then obvious that he's the one who's in the mafia? I don't understand. Why is it that singing about a previous crime that occurred somehow ties you to that crime? What evidence do you, and let me rephrase, what evidence do you have that either Mr. Kendrick or Mr. Williams actually committed the murder of Donovan Thomas?
I didn't give you any, I didn't tell you that I had evidence of that. Did I tell you that?
You testified.
I testified that they killed Donovan Thomas?
You testified that it was obvious.
Got me mixed up. I didn't tell you that.
So it's not obvious that they're involved?
Objection, Your Honor, because I'm not sure where we're going to go, and so I want to.
Well, a minute ago.
Hang on and let me listen to her objection.
Can we approach her?
Yes. All right, Detective, we just want to make sure that with regard to Mr. App's questioning, he's going to confine his questions to things that have to do with his client, Mr. Kendrick. And you should likewise confine your answers to things that have to do with his client right now while he's the one questioning, okay? And not talk about any of the other co-defendants on trial here. And things like a search warrant that got the results of which were suppressed, don't even veer into territory like that. And I'm not going to go through all of the different possibilities, but just be mindful when you testify to be careful not to testify to anything that, as an experienced detective shouldn't be being talked about, okay?
Okay.
All right, any other kind of parameter anybody wants to mention?
Well, Your Honor, and I guess I'm speaking to the detective as well. Detective. Okay. I represent Shannon Stillwell. I am not asking this question, and he is specifically asking about Mr. Kendrick. I would not anticipate that the answer would include pronouns such as they or things of that nature. And I would ask that anything be strictly limited to Mr. Kendrick.
I understand.
All right, anybody else?
I'll absolutely limit my questions relating only to Mr. Kendrick.
All right. Okay, I think we're ready to get the jury back. They may not be ready to come back, but.
Thank you. Someone raps. Thank you, Your Honor. So, Detective, you were saying that and I don't want to misquote you, but that if someone raps or sings about an act of violence that actually occurred, then it becomes obvious of what?
To me, it's bragging. Could be taunting or bragging.
And well, let me ask you this: are you aware of whether Mr. Kendrick wrote any of those lyrics that were played in the courtroom earlier?
No, I'm not aware.
So you don't know if my client was even involved in writing those lyrics.
I never said he did.
And you're not aware of Mr. Kendrick in any way, shape, or form being tied to or involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas. Isn't that true?
I know he was arrested and charged or a suspect for it.
Were his fingerprints found anywhere?
I didn't work the homicide portion of that. You would have to refer to.
You don't know. You don't know if his
I
fingerprints.
didn't get into the homicide investigation.
You don't know if his fingerprints were found on the Tahoe or any evidence in the case?
No.
You don't know if his DNA was found?
No.
You don't know if any ballistics were found that were tied to Mr. Kendrick, correct?
No.
In fact, you're not aware of any eyewitnesses who saw Mr. Kendrick commit that crime, correct?
I don't know of any.
And you went to great lengths to give an expert opinion about what the state refers to as Exhibit 535YB, which is the song called Slime. And I apologize, I may be less genteel than Mr. Steele is, but it's a piece of evidence. The song's actual name is Slime Shit. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you stated earlier you don't know the date that song was released, right?
No, I only see the date that it was uploaded to YouTube, like I told Mr. Steele.
You don't know the date it was written?
I don't.
You don't know who wrote the lyrics?
I don't.
And so if that song, if I told you that track was released officially on September 16th of 2015, and that...
Sustained.
I'll withdraw the question. If, hypothetically, if those lyrics were released in 2014, before the murder of Donovan Thomas, then wouldn't it be fair to say that the Tahoe mentioned in the song had nothing to do with Mr. Thomas's murder, right?
That would be fair.
You're not suggesting that whoever wrote the lyrics was psychic and predicted the murder of Donovan Thomas, right?
I did not say that.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions.